Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of You Enjoy Life. Today we are talking about the downfalls of TikTok. And the reason being is because I've actually been on TikTok for a while. I see the value in the platform. I have like 90,000 followers. Honestly, I have very little to do with it. It's mostly these feet right here that are responsible. It's almost like some people have an Instagram page of just their cat, and I have an Instagram and a TikTok page of mostly my feet. Now, granted, I make a lot of videos, educational stuff. It's funny that my feet have become famous, and I actually just released my first NFT, my barefoot NFT. So see how that goes. It's really just to spread barefoot awareness. Link below if you want to check it out. But today I wanted to talk about the pitfalls of TikTok because right now, we're living in this world of trends, and there's so many people jumping on trends, and everything is about, TikTok. Companies are like, oh, how's your TikTok following? TikTok's the hot new place, and how do we get famous on TikTok? And it's like a lot of energy is being diverted towards there. What I love about YouTube is, even though things have changed a lot, to me it's still the OG creator platform because it's long form content. This is the place that anytime I want to learn something, this is where I go. Yes, to me, this whole infinite scrolling thing, Instagram, TikTok, it just, I rarely feel good after it. I might a little jolt of comedy or education, but for the most part, you walk away from those platforms, or I do, just feeling like, what just happened? Whereas YouTube, if I'm excited about something, if I'm inspired, how do I X, and I learn, and that's cool. So, yeah, I'm going to just kind of get right into it. Now, many years ago, I had a prophecy, and my brother and I were doing our cooking video stuff, and I said one day everyone's going to be equally famous, and fame's going to become irrelevant. And he says now, he's like, that's kind of becoming true. And the idea to me was that there would be a platform at some point, and again, this was 10 years ago when I said this, but there would be a platform where it would be so easy to become famous, where eventually everybody was just watching everybody else's lives. And the positive side to that to me is that it destroys the concept of fame, which I think is a weird thing. Somebody's an actor, they're a good actor, they make a movie, people praise them, they love them, and they're acting, and maybe they're acting somebody else's life, and they're making lots of money, and I love movies, and I feel moved by them often. Movies move me sometimes. But the concept of this person is special, or they're above, or they deserve all this praise is weird. And I've experienced it too. If you don't know, my brother and I had a YouTube channel called Brothers Green Eats, and the MTV show, and flying around the world cooking for celebrities, and we got famous, and it was wild and wonderful in a lot of ways. But what I started to realize was there was so much strangeness to it, and so much isolation, separation, as though you were someone special. And for me, content is always about, hey, I'm just a person that made sense of life in a way that anybody can make sense of. I figured out ways to tap into certain parts of myself, and I just want to share that. It doesn't mean you're going to resonate with everything. We all have our own unique lives. But just like with cooking, I used to be a terrible cook, and when I realized I could cook and make it fun, I just wanted to share that with people. That was literally my intention. So when Brothers Green got super famous, I was kind of preparing myself for it, and I also got lost in the bigness of it. So when I talk about TikTok, it's become, I think people are flocking to it because, like, to go on Instagram, it takes so long in most cases to build a following. I mean, I've been having an Instagram page for years, and I have less than 10,000 subscribers. And yet on TikTok, within a few months, I was at again, I've almost broke 90,000. So the chances of going viral are much more likely, which I think, is cool and exciting for people, but there's a big pitfall to that. And that is, when you have that much fame and success right away, you don't have a foundation. And we get excited, people just want this instant gratification. And I see people, I'll click on these random channels that are just doing random stuff that to me makes no sense, just trend whatever, and they've got like a few 100,000 followers, and then you look at their video count, and it's like 50 views, 100 views, and like you keep scrolling back, and there was a time when they were getting a lot of views, but suddenly 50 views, 100 views, no one's watching them. And that is the scary piece, because if you are on this platform and you're perceiving, wow, it's just like making money. It's like, wow, I can get like a lot of money really fast, so who doesn't want to take that shortcut, right? But the problem is, without the foundational skills and knowing and understanding, it can totally destroy you. And first of all, I'll say there's no wrong and right in this. Like, everybody's on their journey, but if you can have some tools getting into it. If you're someone who's like, well, I want to be on TikTok, or I want to build a brand and I hear this is the place to go, cool. But know that people they shoot right up, but if they don't have a plan, if they don't have the foundational skills to be able to handle that much amount of fame, it's rough. What I saw with Brothers Green was like, it was great, and then it hit a point where I was like, wow, we're getting so much content, so much information, so many comments, so many likes, all these things, messages, agent, like brand deals, all this stuff's coming at us. And I can imagine now if you're like a 15-year-old kid and that's the same situation and you haven't dealt with it, what happens is you're trendy for a minute, but you haven't really built up a solid fan base or, following of people that believe in you. So the second somebody else is more trending and you can't keep up, you're gone. And it's like a drug addiction where suddenly this thing that you were doing that was so exciting, oh my God. I say it on TikTok, it's like I have this training and the skills so I can see myself. Like when my barefoot video started blowing up, I have one that has 10 million views on it. Every 2 seconds I signed into the app, my notifications were at max all the time. Every time I refreshed it, just like comments and people sharing, it was like, and I can imagine, because I've been through it, being a kid and going through that and the excitement of it, but it's not lasting. And that's the thing about, like, if I look at a band, for example, my favorite bands are often the ones that over time have just gotten better and better and better and grown, and they've gone through all these ups and downs. So they have this slow build. Even if, you see them, they're here, they say it takes 10 years to be an overnight sensation, and that's because there's 10 years of this work to get to this place so that when it gets big enough, they already have that foundational core. So I'm not trying to say that there's like one simple solution to this, but just be aware that even though you might think that being famous is going to help your business or it's going to help your brand, if you don't have a plan in place, if you're not able to actually handle what's coming to you, because it's an unnatural thing to have that many people, millions of people reaching out interested, it's a strange thing. So just be aware and know that if that is the case, if that's happening, again, cool, you'll deal with it, you'll be okay, but being viral is not the answer. And to me, I say fame is a side effect of doing what you love. Focus on doing what you love, what you're here to do, what lights your heart up, and then slowly over time, over this slow build, you will start to see that everything will continue to change. Because if you do what you love and people find you and they want to work with you or they want to watch your videos, that's great. And let that be a natural thing over time. But if you get focused on likes and comments and just trying to do trendy things just because you're like, well, if I have a lot more viewers, a lot more people will know me, it's an empty and it's a hollow thing. There's no intrinsic value to fame. There's no thing where you hit some level of fame and suddenly you're happy and you've got all the money, you've made it. I see channels, like even on YouTube, where I know people that have small channels, but they have this niche and they really speak to their audience and they do well, they make a living. And then I also see channels that are huge and have a lot of followers, but they don't have a good plan and they just don't end up necessarily even making good money because they're just throwing stuff out there hoping that it will all kind of work out. And while there might be something special to just doing whatever feels right in the moment, and that's what I do to a big extent, I've built this foundational experience of knowing how to deal with that stuff. I have things in play. When somebody sees my videos or interested, they can click and they can read my books. I have funnels to get to see things, not like click funnels, but just these funnels of like, oh, you want to learn more? If somebody sees something I'm doing and they really want to know more about me, there's plenty of videos, there's books, there's all kinds of things that you can do to get to understand and learn about me on a deeper level and things I'm passionate about sharing. But if you're just like willy-nilly throwing stuff out, it's like having the quick, orgasmic, just whatever, and you're just crapping all over the place, just hoping that somebody's going to watch your videos, well, you might be in for a rude awakening. So this video isn't so much about just ripping on TikTok, because I actually think there is value in that platform. I started making videos on it because I saw, okay, there's another way I can reach people and reach a different audience, which is great. But I also knew that I had this foundation of experience that would keep it sane for me. So when I consult people and I help people grow followings, if they come to me and they want to have the 1 million followers, I'm like, why? What's your reasoning? If their reasoning is, well, because that's 1 million, it seems like a good number, and that's going to help me this. Like, if they don't really have real reasoning, there's no actual, like, foundation to this building they're trying to build, I'm not even going to try to work with them. But if somebody just genuinely wants to share themselves authentically and trust that in that process, as they build up this system, all the other things will come into place, well, that's a beautiful thing. Because when you do something that's sustainable and thrivable, you actually can build something in the long term. But if you're just trying to get that quick explosion, it's a quick come down. And man, I see these kids who are like, 15, 16, 12 years old. They get super famous and it's amazing. And then once that's over, and it's often, especially as a TikTok, it can last like a week or a month. It's very short-lived. After that, where do you go from there? You had a taste of fame and then it's gone. Now what? So, careful out there, folks, and know that everything's going to be okay. But follow what's in your heart, and don't get caught up chasing trends unless you want to just be trying to live that life, and you'll just always be chasing something. Rather do what feels right to you and create your own movement. Create your own thing. Figure out who you are, what makes you unique and special, and share it authentically, and know that over time you'll get better and better, and more people will find you, and that will be a beautiful thing. Speak soon.